Good morning, everybody. This is Monday morning. This is a check-in video. We'll see what I can do since I'm not editing to reduce the length of video and divide them up as needed and to be concise. I had this. I talk a lot about things that are holding me back without really saying it that way. And in 1998, I had a course in was it telecommunications, where we were using a communications laboratory, and we were taking clips and stuff from the computer. Again, it's the 90s, and we were editing it into a video. For instance, like there's some clips from a circus or something, and what we needed to do was we needed to edit as a group, like as a, there's like a lab, so you got put into groups, and we actually had to buy reel-to-reel, and we had to manipulate some music on a reel-to-reel recorder, and so we had to record stuff on there, and we had to connect that to the computer, and we edited the sound and the video to how we wanted it, right? And again, you guys understand what that even is from the olden days. My dad used to listen to music on reel-to-reel that he had bought in the 60s or something like that. I don't even know. So when it comes to saying I need to edit my YouTube videos, I might have done it once on my iPad, but it was very not counterintuitive, or intuitive, I guess is the word. And it was something where I can see other, I can see influencers, and I'm not a color, that have their computers, when they're filming everything, they can show you some shots of what their computer is doing, whether they're watching the video and taking out different things like slicing it, adding voiceovers, adding music, going to stores, having videos from their stores, like say the Goodwill where the music's super loud, trying not to get copyright issues, and then putting the intros and the extras and all that fun stuff. I've done some of that stuff. Like website designing, I had started in the 90s. All these different things. I had a video camera. It's my mom's, but I made a commercial using a video camera for my guinea pig. At the time, I called it dreadlock because I didn't know the word dread was bad. So guinea pig hair lock kit, and I had sat all morning and put my guinea pig's hair basically in braids, or I don't know what I did. And I used that for the video that I filmed and showed to the class. I had some music in the, I don't even know how I did it, because I was just using like an 8mm, or was it even an 8mm camcorder? I think it was VHS-C. What is that? I don't even know what that is. VHS-C, like compact or something. I think that disc went into a big converter, or what you call it, adapter, and then that went into a regular VCR as a regular VHS tape, and it would play. So that was in high school. That was in the early 80s, so prior to 94 or earlier. So I have a lot of experience. I had my mom one day, I woke up, she had set up a reel-to-reel movie projector here, and she put like there's either a sheet or an actual screen up here behind where I sit at the kitchen table, and she showed a video of it was kind of like Captain Kangaroo, but I don't think it was something like that. It might have been, I don't think it was actually Captain Kangaroo, but my brother had been on TV, and as a young kid, and he was in the audience, and I think he got to go on stage, and I was like shocked that we had this technology in our house that I hadn't seen before or after that session. My dad used to develop pictures. He was a photographer, so he did black and white pictures, and developing each of our houses. The house where I was, when I came home to as a baby, I wasn't born in it, but the house I was basically born in, and then the house that he had until recently, when it got destroyed in 2020, those houses had black room, or it's actually had dark rooms. There's a dark room in that basement, and he had a dark room. Is that called dark room? Bag, so he could develop film in this. And it was interesting because I went to the city with my dad and went and bought the chemicals so that he could do the black room, dark. I keep calling it black room. And I remember being kind of geeky, but we had that in junior high science. Was it junior high or high school? Anyways, I got to. The teacher took us into the dark room and showed us all of the stations and said you absolutely have to do this in black, and then you could do the film stuff in red light. And we really because I don't even have like a glow in the dark watch or anything, and my pictures actually got destroyed and left behind. I had pictures of my cousin from Detroit. I kind of wish I still had them, but they were really blurry, and they were too dark, so there was something wrong with my camera. And that was one of the cameras my dad had just gotten me, a film camera. The settings were off or something. He actually took that away and gave me a different camera. Something weird. Like, I think he didn't give me a different camera, but I was taking pictures on film through 6mm? What is those little? Remember those little flat cameras? They're like rectangles, like a piece, like a chunk of cheddar cheese, the 8-ounce cheddar cheese blocks. I can't remember what that was called, but my dad was a hobby photographer with all the settings, and even my mom had like a flash, or you put the flash on it and you got 4 flashes on that little cube, and it burns. It literally burns something, like a chemical reaction, and then you can't use it anymore after you blow out all of them. That's some crazy stuff back in the day. But we were always tinkering around with chemicals and technology and electronics, and my dad was like, oh, your pictures in that little camera are better than his pictures. He tried to say in 35mm film. And he had some other camera film in the basement in the freezer for decades. I don't even know what camera that was for. It was like little yellow packs. So we had a lot of stuff accumulated in the house, and a lot of things from before I was born, from world travels and hobbies that my parents had, including collecting collectibles and antiques from my mother. So it's really hard when I struggle to do modern day stuff when I'm used to, like now I could take a picture of myself and post it all over the world, all over every website, every link. I just did my first Pinterest picture this morning. Like, really? I take a ton of pictures, I should be on there. I was like, whatever. But I'm used to the, hey, it's going to take you 2 or 3 days to develop this picture versus point, click, shoot, upload, And so I gotta either just let myself use the technology for my advantage and get stuff on. I have too many things on my to-do list. Use the technology, get it done, boom, move on to the next thing. To having the ADHD and having maybe some pride and saying, oh, I don't want to do it this way. Or having the parents saying, I don't want to do this point and click Windows stuff. I don't want to teach that in university. Or my mom pretty much forced my grandma to use a computer. She's like, you're going to use a computer at least once in your life. And I think she had her sit down and write a letter or something on like her 90 something Windows. I remember in Windows 95, what was before that? It was either Windows 95 or whatever was before that. I don't even know. Word. So, it's just crazy. I threw away my typewriter during an inspection, or during a move or inspection. That was really annoying. Because that was my typewriter from when I was a kid, and it had new inks or whatever, cartridges. Like, oh, I kicked myself. I didn't even look in the container. I kicked myself so many times. It kind of was like a shock hazard, though. I don't know if it was static, but I kick myself every time we have inspections and we clean and we throw stuff away. But it's like my dad's house. You could save stuff for decades from multiple houses and pictures from your childhood and stuff. And if it gets destroyed by fire or flooding or just being stored and dust and bugs and vermin get to it. So I almost want to tell you guys that, oh, I want to be a minimalist and just be at peace and have trust in my higher power that things will come to me when they're supposed to. Like, but I know we have wisdom embedded into us that, I mean, animals have wisdom and innate wisdom and instincts, and we do too, and we unlearn them and train ourselves to be humans instead of like our ancestors, which you say, hey, we got to do this. We got to hunt and gather, take care of the young, produce offspring, take care of the offspring, and move on and on and on. So if I was a bird, say I was a water bird, the waterfowl festival is coming up soon in about 3 weeks. Say that I was a bird and I was able to fish all day and sit out all day and take my naps. You know, birds sleep on one foot tucked up underneath them. Fly to from my nest. Communicate with other, like, birds, fight off bully birds. You know what I mean? I feel like it would be an all-day thing. Work, 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 eat, eat, eat. Rest, rest, rest. Repeat. Work, 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 eat, eat, eat. Rest, rest, rest. If you see, what are they, the vultures or the, whatever those prey, I call them salvage birds. What are they called? Not birds of prey, the other ones. The ones that eat like dead roadkill. They will sit up on the wire, or they don't sit on, they sit on like radio towers or cell phone tower structures and like water towers, and they open up their wings. They almost look sickly, but they're sitting right in the sun. And I could see them doing that as the sun rises in the forest and the dew starts to turn into like this mist and fog, like evaporation. And you see these birds like that. And you see them all sitting around a water tower or some kind of thing where there's like dozens of them. And when there's something for them to eat, they go and they take their beaks with no tool, no fork and knife, no oven, and no pot and pan with Old Bay sauce, and they eat. And whatever young are in the nest, they're gonna feed them somehow with their beaks and their talons or their claws. So I'm trying to convince myself, it's like you gotta be like that. You want to eat, you gotta work. Even if that work is just flying to a place and picking something up off the ground, you still have to work at it. There's a Bible verse in Proverbs that said something about the lazy man was so lazy that he couldn't even bring his fork to his mouth or something like that. Verses like that scare me because I start to think that I'm being too lazy. But I gotta go do work. With that analogy or description of some of these animals that I could actually see having that rest, and I don't know what they're doing. You can walk on a trail and see birds, pigeons and stuff on a wire, and when you're there you see a few and a few more come, and you walk and walk and you look back, they're still there, and you walk for half an hour, you come back and they're still there. They don't look like they're being lazy. They look like they're doing what they gotta do. I don't know. Siesta, daytime, rest, breathe, rest, and rejuvenate, get sunlight, fresh air, wait for the evening, wake up in the morning, get some fluids, get the morning bugs that start running around when it starts getting daylight, and then do a bunch of stuff, digest your food by rest and digest, not standing up, eating, running around, driving through drive-thru, trying to hurry up and get to your appointment without spilling ketchup on your white shirt that you have for your client or for your work meeting, or to get on an airplane somewhere. And then I feel like the animals would have, depending on whether they're, diurnal or nocturnal, I feel like there's that evening time where everything shifts, where it's starting to get dark and bugs come out. So if there are birds that eat bugs or other animals that eat insects, bats will come out and start eating up the mosquitoes and all that stuff. So you see how these patterns happen, and then like humans, if humans are doing daytime stuff, it starts to get dark, you start to go back to your nest and your family, and you snuggle up. And you would have had to either take over an old nest that was already there, make a nest inside of somebody's chimney or whatever, a tree, cut down the trees, so they gotta use our buildings. You get a nest, you got something where you have your sticks, your bricks, your fluffy, feathery pillows that you either produce by plucking your own, or you go and you work, blood, sweat, tears, and you go to Walmart and buy you a $5 pillow and a pillowcase to go. That cost more than a pillow. And the other thing that you put, and I told you guys I had to get more of the pillow liners with the zippers on them. So I always think of this when I feel unmotivated and like I don't want to do anything. But the thing about the animals, even the Bible, is there's periods of rest, there's periods of celebration, there's periods of socialization, there's periods of days-long wedding parties and events where, besides regular holidays, where the families and the places of worship are providing food, providing fun, beverages, place for the kids to go. We're in a system where I work regular jobs, and I was work, and I'm burnt out. And now I feel lazy because my body is not working, and everyone else is standing around eating food that they didn't pay for, and you're working, trying to be like, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna die. I take a picture, send it to my supervisor. Like, I told these people they need to work. They're on the clock, and it's hard because those people get paid the same or more than the people that are working. So you got a few people. Everybody could do some work, but you got a handful of people that are keeping the establishment open and running smoothly. We had some drivers that were competitive, so they were working. They were aggressive. They didn't want to talk to each other, and they're scrubbing, cleaning, like, because they're angry. Remember my videos when I'm really skinny? Imagine me being the assistant manager and like watching these people argue, but when we go into the night and we'd be scrubbing and cleaning and watching these guys thinking, oh my god, please do not get in a fist fight. I got the time to be watching why guys picking each other up off the ground. This is not wrestling. Come on. These people, again, they were aggressive, they were angry at each other, they were competitive, but they didn't just sit around and try to take food. And some people that stopped working there, we had figured out that we think that they were stuffing food down their pants, and that's something me and the manager had to find out. I mean, we didn't have free employee meals. We had employee one pizza and a drink per day for $5. I think it's not cheap. Like one personal pan pizza, like one piece of pizza for $5. So I'd get it for my kids. I think we got a 50% discount, so I could get like two. I don't even know, and like a bottle of water. So I had like all these Dasanis in the back of my car that I didn't really want. They're probably still there. I know I drank some of them. If my kids were sick, I'd get them like, I don't think they had ginger ale, whatever the Sprite or equivalent is. Anyway, it's another story. I wouldn't shut off. I'm really exhausted. That's the thing I was saying, is that indigenous people, sick people, people that have babies and nursing, you get some periods of rest. The heat of the day, the cold of the winter, just some periods of rest, and I just feel overwhelmed. People are bugging me. I feel like hibernating. I didn't have time off during COVID. Me and my partner were out working, living out of a garage and working every day, out in the public, out being exposed to COVID. I got COVID doing that. Driving all over the state in Pennsylvania working. I didn't get 2-year, 1-year work from home. Neither of us got to stay home and work. And that's what it ended up being, you know what I mean? So that's a once 100-year break that people got for the whole world shutting down. Me and my partner didn't get it. And we didn't get, I was telling you guys, get paid $12 an hour, working part-time. But I still had to work. Sometimes I did get overtime when it was busy because I was working and they kept telling me to keep working. It was dangerous. Besides getting sick, it was dangerous being alone, no protection, and no emergency backup. So I'm really wanting to enjoy my life, but I'm not. And I woke up pretty motivated this morning, but every morning I get woke up from something or somebody that's not my alarm. And of course, if I have an appointment or something in the morning, I have to set an alarm, and it seems like when I actually need to get up, I don't want to get up. I think it's because I sit up all night paranoid that I'm going to sleep through my alarm and miss my appointment. And by the time I go to sleep, I sleep through everything because I'm like completely beat. So I'm trying to find balance. Yesterday I had a video, 1 hour, something about respite retreat center, and then the one before that, I forget, it was more like a check-in. So I'll put these all three as check-ins, guys, and then I'll check in with you all about whether I can actually get my work done and get my billing done and do the house chores. We haven't done laundry in like a week because the place under us was open, so I started one load of my partner's, only not mine. Started soaking some kind of hand towel that's all funky, and then maybe I'll throw something in a hand wash bucket, and just, that's my favorite thing to do in the morning. Get some tea started, get the laundry started, get in the bathroom. It's nice to jump in, take a shower, brush the teeth, but that stuff is, I try to do the louder stuff. So I ate up, I made some homemade lasagnas. I had one zucchini. I thought I had more, I couldn't find more, so I'm glad I had that one. I mean, that's all gone pretty much. And just the zucchini, not this. I made tomato sauce out of tomatoes and sun-dried tomatoes, and then I made a cheese out of onions, spices, and soaked cashews, so that didn't get wasted. I made some fake meat out of walnuts, completely gone, all dehydrated. That stuff's the fake meat was dehydrated. So we're just cleaning stuff out. There's some guilt and holding on to stuff and getting rid of it, and some guilt and getting rid of something that, oh, I think I might want this, or like pulling stuff out of the trash and like stashing it somewhere. I'm like, it's an old receipt from who knows what. Just take a picture of it, get rid of it. Who cares? And you're gonna have data filling up all of your sites, and we can't back up your device because you have no more room. Peace, guys. Hang in there. Again, recapping on Sunday or whatever last day I made video. How do I get to the mindset where I can make a living as a self-employed individual who owns a company, not just self-employed, but owns a company? I'm self-employed, kind of have that gig worker vibe in some surveys I do, but how to get to the company and potentially hiring a virtual assistant, maybe just for an hour a week. But I put myself in the role and do payroll and write down that I worked and what I did during that time. And then when I do hire people, if I have a clinic, I have rooms, I have a laboratory, I have a yoga studio with bamboo floors, and I have workers coming in, virtual assistants, billing people, and then I can come and go and do my work and have the other people be a team, a community, not just me trying to be like one of those people that thinks they're an octopus and tries to do 10 tasks at the same time. Peace, guys. Hang in there. We've got this.